So we are going to discuss about the brainstem, but mainly we will discuss today medulla oblongata. Other parts it will be taken in other classes. So medulla oblongata. So brainstem. So these are the components. That is it is made up of midbrain. So here this is the midbrain. You can see here this is midbrain, then pons, then medulla oblongata. So midbrain, pons, then medulla oblongata. These three structures all together, it is known as your brainstem. So come to medulla oblongata. So this is the lowest part of your brainstem. Length is around 3 centimeter. Vertical length is 3 centimeter. 2.5 centimeter, this is the width at your widest part. This is widest part, this is the narrowest part of the medulla oblongata. So at the widest part of the medulla oblongata, the width is around 2.5 centimeter, while anteroposterior thickness is or breadth is your 1.25 centimeter. So this is our dimension of the medulla oblongata. Then come to the shape. So shape is it is conical. It is conical in shape and it is bulb-like. Bulb means your stem. So where it is located? Inside the cranial cavity. Inside the cranial cavity, this cranial cavity is divided into 3 fossa: anterior, middle and posterior cranial fossa. So it is situated in the posterior cranial fossa of the cranial cavity. Between your clevus. Clevus is the basilar part of the occipital bone. Basilar part of occipital bone, that is anteriorly, and the cavity of fourth ventricle with the cerebellum posteriorly. So anteriorly clevus, that is the bony part, and posteriorly we are having the fourth ventricle. This is a cavity and cerebellum. So this is our location. So this is our cerebellum. This is fourth ventricle. So here anteriorly there is a clevus. So this is our medulla oblongata. Here you can see this medulla oblongata, upper part, the canal there is no canal, but in the lower part there is a canal. And this canal will ultimately continues inferiorly with the central canal of the spinal cord. Spinal cord has cord, no? Oh. So inferiorly this will continues downward as a central canal of the spinal cord. But upper part of the medulla oblongata, this is open. It ultimately directly continues with the fourth ventricle, space of the fourth ventricle. So this part is called open part, this part is called closed part. We will come. So lowest part of the brainstem contains mainly your more important centers, that is the vital centers of brain: cardiac center, vasomotor center, respiratory center. That is why if there is any ischemia in the medulla oblongata, it is more dangerous, because cardiac center if it is inhibit, then what will happen? Heart will not pump. Vasomotor, all the blood vessels, that is your contraction and relaxation of the blood vessel, it is also done by the vasomotor center, which is also located in the medulla oblongata. Respiratory center, which is also located in the medulla oblongata. So if there is any ischemia in the medulla oblongata, it may lead to inhibition of these centers and ultimately patient will die. So medulla oblongata gives attachment to the last 4 cranial nerve. Last 4 means 9, 10th, 11th and 12th cranial nerve. So this is our 9th cranial nerve, then your 10, then this is the 11th, this is the rootlets of 11th, and then 12th cranial nerve. We will come, different parts of the medulla oblongata will come. So now this whole medulla oblongata, it is divided into 2 parts, open part and closed part. So already I have told, open, this upper part is called open part, because here central canal is not inside the medulla oblongata. That is why it is called open part. While central canal is inside the medulla oblongata, that is why this lower part is known as a closed part. Now come to this is our ventral aspect of the medulla oblongata. So this ventral aspect of the medulla oblongata, we can see one midline depression, and this midline depression is called anterior median fissure, and this anterior median fissure inferiorly continues with the anterior median fissure of your spinal cord. So this anterior median fissure ultimately and posteriorly also there is a one sulcus, that is called posterior median sulcus. So this anterior median sulcus and posterior median sulcus, it divides the whole medulla oblongata into two parts, right half, left half. Then in the lower part, anterior median fissure, it is actually obliterated due by the decussation of the pyramids or pyramidal decussation. That means these things, through this ventral aspect of the medulla oblongata, all the motor fibers are run downwards. So these are called descending tract. This is called pyramid. This pyramid is formed due to the descending tract. And these descending tracts, their fibers are crossing, that is called pyramidal decussation at the lower part of the medulla oblongata. And that is why this anterior median fissure in the lower aspect, it will be obliterated or interrupted. Now superiorly, here you see, superiorly there is your foramen, that is called foramen cecum. This foramen cecum, one word, foramen cecum already you have got in the development of the tongue, but that foramen cecum is different, this foramen cecum is different. So this foramen cecum, or this anterior median fissure, superiorly, it ultimately ends as a triangular depression at the junction of the pons and medulla, and this triangular depression is known as a foramen cecum. Then this is our posterior median, this is our anterior median fissure, then this is our posterior median sulcus. Now this is our closed part, this is our open part of the medulla. This is closed part of the medulla. In the lower part, there is a central canal is inside the medulla oblongata. So this is that is why it is called closed part. So this posterior median sulcus we can see in the lower part only, and then in the upper part it becomes open. See here, central canal is, now it is become the cavity of the fourth ventricle. That is why posterior median sulcus we cannot see in the upper part of the medulla oblongata. Only in the lower part we can see the posterior median sulcus. Inferiorly, this posterior median sulcus become continuous with the posterior median sulcus of the spinal cord. Now come to the external fissure of the medulla oblongata. So this is our ventral aspect of the medulla oblongata. This is our anterior median fissure. Then this is our, by the side, on the either side of the anterior median fissure, we can see elevation, vertical elevation. This elevation is produced by the corticospinal fiber or motor fiber or descending fiber. Corticospinal, from the cerebral cortex, fibers are going to spinal cord, that is why called corticospinal fibers. So these due to these corticospinal fibers, there is an elevation on either side of the anterior median fissure, and this is known as a pyramid. And in the lower part, this pyramid is get obliterated due to the crossing of the corticospinal fibers, that is called pyramidal decussation. Then by the side of the pyramid, in the upper part, not whole part of the pyramid, so by the side of the pyramid, this is pyramid, by the side of the pyramid there is your small elevation is there, and this small elevation is known as a olive. This olive is produced actually due to the inferior olivary nucleus. Just beneath, if we just do some dissection, or if we can take a section, histological section, then we can see there is a nucleus, and that nucleus is inferior olivary nucleus. Then come to the posterior anterolateral sulcus. This is our pyramid, this is our olive, then this is our, in between this pyramid and olive there is a depression, and this depression is known as a anterolateral sulcus, which is also present inferiorly in the spinal cord, anterolateral sulcus. Then this is our pyramid, this is olive, then just posterior to this your olive there is another elevation, which is your inferior cerebellar peduncle. This is inferior cerebellar peduncle. So in between the pyramid and olive there is a depression, longitudinal depression, which is known as an anterolateral sulcus. Between the olive and inferior cerebellar peduncle there is another depression, which is known as a posterolateral sulcus. Now this posterolateral sulcus gives attachment to the 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerve. Okay. Inferiorly, this posterolateral sulcus, it is also continuous as a posterolateral sulcus of the spinal cord. So here you can see this is our pyramid. Just lateral to pyramid, this orange color thing is the olive. Now this is our anterolateral sulcus. Just behind the olive, there will be posterolateral sulcus, and this posterolateral sulcus ultimately give attachment to our 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerve, and this is our 12th cranial nerve. So anterolateral sulcus gives attachment to the 12th cranial nerve, while posterolateral sulcus gives attachment to the 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerve. 9th, 10th and 11th. Then dorsal aspect. Come to the dorsal aspect of the medulla oblongata. So this dorsal aspect, the lower part, we call it is a closed part, medial to lateral. What are the fissures? We can see on either side of the posteromedian sulcus. This is our lower part or closed part. So this is our posteromedian sulcus. Now on the either side of the posteromedian sulcus, there is an again longitudinal elevation. And this longitudinal elevation in the lower part, this is called, this is due to the fibers. Ascending fibers. Ascending fibers are sensory fibers. They are run upward from the spinal cord to the cortex. So all the fibers are sensory. It will relate to the sensory cortex of the cerebrum. So on the either side of the posteromedian sulcus, there is an elevation. This is most medial one. This is known as a fasciculus gracilis. On lateral to that, another longitudinal elevation which is known as a fasciculus cuneatus. Fasciculus means your bundle of nerve fibers. So fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus. Now these fibers ultimately at the upper part, these elevation become ends as an tubercle. Here it is more elevated, and it is from a tubercle-like structure. So this fasciculus gracilis ends as a gracile tubercle. Fasciculus cuneatus ends as a cuneate tubercle. So gracile tubercle medially, cuneate tubercle laterally. Tubercle is elevation and fasciculus is bundle. So this is bundle, this is your tubercle. So fasciculus gracilis ends as a gracile tubercle, and fasciculus cuneatus ends as a cuneate tubercle. Now why this elevation? Here is a bundle, okay, now suddenly there is a tubercle, because here also we are having your nucleus. All the fibers will relay here. That is your secondary fibers. From the spinal cord, fiber will run upward, sensory fibers, then they will relay here. From here, the second order neuron will go to the thalamus or hypothalamus and to the higher centers. So this is our gracile tubercle, cuneate tubercle. Then lateral or ventral to this cuneate tubercle, another one elevation. Here it is not so prominent, but in actual specimen you can see that elevation is called tuber cinerum. Now if you see in the upper part, in this part there is this ultimately lower part or closed part of the medulla oblongata, it becomes ends or opens into the fourth ventricle. Here it opens into the fourth ventricle. So this is our upper closed part of the medulla oblongata. So come to the upper part of the medulla oblongata or closed part of the medulla oblongata. So here also this is our closed part. This part is closed. So posteromedial, this is our medial sulcus. Here we say it is posteromedian sulcus, but here we say it is medial sulcus. That is the one difference. Medial sulcus, midline, that is, and depression, this is medial sulcus. Now on the either side of the medial sulcus, there is an elevation, and these two elevations are known as a median eminence. Now lateral to this median eminence, it is limited. Here it is limited by one sulcus, that is known as a sulcus limitan on the either side. Sulcus limitan. Sulcus limitan means it is your median eminence is limited by this sulcus, that is why it is called sulcus limitan. Now, if you see in this sulcus limitan in the lower part, what will happen? This sulcus limitan, it runs downward and medially. Have you seen? It runs downwards and medially to meet the medial sulcus. Now, what will happen? Your median eminence in this lower part, it will divide it into two triangles. Upper one is called hypoglossal triangle, lower one is called vagal triangle. Clear? So, whole thing we call it is median eminence. This is medial sulcus. Lateral to this, sulcus limitan. Now, at the lower part of the your lower part, sulcus limitan run downwards and medially to meet the medial sulcus. That is why this lower part of the median eminence, it will be divided into two triangles, upper triangle, lower triangle. Upper one is called upper hypoglossal triangle and this is called lower vagal triangle. Just beneath it, actually we are having a nucleus, hypoglossal nucleus, vagal nucleus. So from here, vagus nerve will arise. From here, your hypoglossal nerve will arise. Then come to the internal fissures of the medulla. So can you, this thing to clear now? Medial sulcus, median eminence, sulcus limitan, then at the lower part, hypoglossal triangle, vagal triangle. So this much is the ear. But other part, these things will be discussed in the when we discuss about the floor of the fourth ventricle. So this part is forming the upper part of the medulla oblongata, forms the floor of the fourth ventricle. See here, this is the floor of this is fourth ventricle, this is roof, this is floor. So this is the floor of the fourth ventricle. What just now we have seen this part only. Okay. Now come to the internal fissure of the medulla. To discuss the internal fissure, what happened at the different level, different structures are present. In the lower part, some structures are present, while in the middle part, some other structures are present. Like in the lower part of the medulla oblongata, we are having the fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus. But at the upper part, it become your nucleus, fasciculus, your cuneate nucleus, gracile nucleus. Like that, some structures are present in the lower part and some structures are present in the upper part. That is why, for the discussion purpose, we divide the medulla oblongata into three regions. Okay, lower close part. Lower close part means at the level of the pyramidal decussation. We have to take a cross section at the level of pyramidal decussation. Then we see under microscope what are the structures present. Again, cross section of the medulla at the sensory decussation. That is at the level of the gracile and cuneate tubercle. Here we cannot see. Only dorsal aspect we can see this your cuneate nucleus and gracile nucleus. So upper part of the close part of the medulla oblongata. And another section, cross section we are taking at the upper part of your open part of the medulla oblongata at the level of the olive. So this is our olive. So at this level we are taking section. Then we see under all these sections, we will observe under microscope. Now let's see what are the things present. I have given so many pictures. This is one picture, simple picture. This is simple. Then it is also simple. So whatever, because at the time of exam, it is asked to draw diagram of medulla oblongata at different level. Okay, so mainly diagrammatic question. That is why whatever you like, you can draw. That is up to you. Suppose in the spinal cord, you have remembered there is a central gray matter. Then at the central gray matter, at the centrally there is a central canal. Then at the outer to the gray matter, there is a white matter. The white matter means all the fibers. Now same thing actually in the close part of the medulla oblongata also we can see the same thing. Only name will be different. So this is at the level of the lower close part or at the level of the pyramidal decussation. Now this is our dorsal aspect, this is our ventral aspect. Now see here dorsal aspect, this is our pyramid, this is our elevation. On the ventral aspect, there is a elevation, a longitudinal elevation on the either side of the anteromedian fissure, that is called pyramid. Now these pyramid fibers are crossing from right to left. Here it is pyramidal decussation. or great motor decussation. That is the motor fibers. All are motor fibers. Okay. Next, this is our gray matter. This is our gray matter, and these gray matter ultimately posteriorly or dorsally they are elongated. Somehow some elongation are there. Strip like elongation. Central gray matter. In the spinal cord we can see uniformity, but here for dorsal part of the gray matter it becomes your elongated. Strip like elongation, and these are called your gracile tubercle, cuneate tubercle. Gracile tubercle, cuneate tubercle. Then there is a central canal. Central canal is present. Next, outer to the gray matter, we are having the white matter. Now this white matter, here condensation of these fibers, this is our spinal tract and nucleus. Spinal tract, this is nucleus. Spinal tract and nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Then in the ventral part, this is your ventral spinocerebellar. That means fibers will come from the spinal cord, then it will go to the cerebellum. Ventrally it lies ventrally, that is why it is called ventral spinocerebellar tract. Dorsal to it, this is our dorsal spinocerebellar tract. And another thing, nucleus in the white matter, that is our spinal root of the 11th cranial nerve. 11th cranial nerve or accessory. So here this is your another picture. This is our dorsal aspect. I have shown this diagram here. Posterior median sulcus. This is our posterior median sulcus. Then this is our strip-like elongation of the central. This is the central gray matter. This is strip-like elongation. This diagram is actually more easy. So this is the elongation of the central gray matter. That is called fasciculus. This is our nucleus gracilis, nucleus cuneatus. Dorsal to this is our your white matter. This is called fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus. Now here dorsal horn of the spinal cord. Dorsal horn of the spinal cord is there. Here this part is, if you think that this is the dorsal horn of the medulla, your gray matter of the medulla, so this is again elongation, and this elongation is called spinal nucleus, and this is our spinal tract of what? Of trigeminal nerve or fifth cranial nerve. Okay. Then sometimes there will be accessory one nucleus. Accessory nucleus is there. Accessory cuneate nucleus, sometimes it may be present. So from here some nucleus will come or detach from here, and then we call it is accessory cuneate nucleus. Then this is our spinal lemniscus. Spinal lemniscus. Then this due to the pyramidal decussation. Due to this pyramidal decussation, what will happen? This ventral gray matter become detached from the central gray matter. This is our central gray matter. As the fibers are crossing, that is why this ventral horn of the central gray matter become detached. And this detached part is called spinal nucleus of accessory nerve or your 11th cranial nerve. This is our pyramid. Okay. Next, come to the cross section at the upper close part of the medulla oblongata. This diagram very clumsy diagram, no? Very clumsy diagram. One good diagram is also here. You can draw this diagram also. Okay. Here you see, that means you're at the level of it is your close part of the medulla oblongata, but above the pyramidal decussation. That means it is at the level of the olive, at the level of the, not olive, it is at the level of the sensory decussation, at the level of the sensory decussation. So first, this is the central gray matter. First you see, this is the central gray matter. Then posteriorly, now this nuclear gray matter get detached. Gray matter become detached from the central gray matter, and these ultimately will form nucleus. These will form nucleus separately. They will form. What nucleus? Medially we are having gracile nucleus. Laterally we are having cuneate nucleus. And these are fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus. So at the level of the sensory decussation, or you can say at the level of the upper close part of the medulla oblongata. So what will happen? This dorsally, these nucleus are get detached, while in the lower level, at the level of the pyramidal decussation, they are elongated, strip-like elongation dorsally. Now that elongated part completely detached to form nucleus. That is our gracile nucleus, cuneate nucleus. Ventrally, this is our pyramid. There is no doubt, pyramid is there. Then what will happen? From this gracile tubercle, cuneate tubercle, these are sensory fiber. These sensory fibers will cross from the left side to right side, and also cross the midline. From the here you see, this is our right, suppose left side. So from the left side, it will get cross the midline, and it lies, and these fibers lies now ventral to the central gray matter. These fibers are get crossed. These fibers are known as a arcuate fiber, internal arcuate fiber. What is internal arcuate fiber? These are fibers which are coming from the gracile and cuneate nucleus. What happened? These fibers will now cross here. See, this is your dorsally, this is lie ventral. Now this dorsal part goes to the ventral part, and the ventral aspect goes to the dorsal aspect. This is fasciculus. This is our nucleus. That is what nucleus? This is gracile nucleus. This is cuneate nucleus. Now fibers are going. Then it cross the midline and form your lemniscus. Medial lemniscus. This is known as a medial lemniscus. From the right side, fibers will come to the left side. From your left side, it goes to your left side, right side. So what will happen ultimately? Whatever the ascending fibers or sensory fibers, it runs upwards at the level of your upper part of the medulla oblongata. They will get crossed. From the right side, fibers will go to left. From the left, they will go to the right. That means if there is anything happens in the medulla, ischemia in the medulla, at the upper part of the medulla oblongata, then what sensory information we will not get? That means from right side, if this side is suffered, suppose this side is get suffered, then what will happen? I will not get the information of ultimately if this side is suffered, that means this medial lemniscus will suffer. If this medial lemniscus is suffered, what will happen? I will not get information from right side. If this side lemniscus is suffered due to ischemia, I will not get information from this side, because there is your decussation. And this decussation, this is internal arcuate fiber, get decussation, that is called your great sensory decussation. Here, great motor decussation at the lower part of the medulla. Then these decussating fibers ultimately form a bundle of fibers that is called medial lemniscus. Then spinal tract and nucleus of trigeminal nerve. This part already in lower part also we have, but this now pushed due to the gracile and cuneate nucleus. It is a bit pushed ventrally. So this is our spinal tract and nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Then this is ventral spinocerebellar, dorsal spinocerebellar, and this is our ventral spinocerebellar tract. And central gray matter will remain at the center. This is the central gray matter. At the central gray matter, we will have a central canal. This is the central canal. Now, ventral to the central canal, these are two nucleus. This is called hypoglossal nucleus. From here, hypoglossal nerve will arise. Then this is dorsal to this hypoglossal nucleus. We are having the dorsal motor nucleus of vagus, because vagus is a mixed type of nerve. So it is your motor, sensory is from other part of the medulla. Then nucleus of tractus solitarius, that is dorsal part of the central gray matter. This is your nucleus of Tractus solitarius. Then dorsal to this medial lemniscus, small bundle of nerve fibers, that is called medial longitudinal bundle. And this compact tract of nerve fibers, they are interconnection actually of third, fourth, sixth and eighth and spinal nucleus of 11 cranial nerve. So all these from nucleus, these fibers are interconnected here in this medial longitudinal. That means whatever the fibers will coming from the nucleus, they will interconnected here. All the fibers are get interconnected. Suppose this small area, if it is get suffered, ultimately these 4 nerve will get suffered. Now come to the upper, that is the open part of the medulla oblongata at the level of the olive. Again, I will just try to recapitulate the things, otherwise it will be too much. So this is our ventral aspect of the medulla oblongata, and this ventral aspect, these are externally we can see. This is our anteromedian fissure. On the either side of the anteromedian fissure, this is a longitudinal or vertical elongation. This is known as a pyramid. This pyramid is formed due to your descending tract or motor fibers or corticospinal fiber. Now lateral to or dorsal to this your pyramid, another one elevation, small elevation at the upper part, this is called olive. And in between the olive and the pyramid, there is a depression that is called anterolateral sulcus. And this anterolateral sulcus gives attachment to the hypoglossal nerve or 12th cranial nerve. Now dorsal to this your olive, there is another elevation that is called your inferior cerebellar peduncle, and in between the inferior cerebellar peduncle and your olive, there is another depression that is called posterolateral sulcus. This posterolateral sulcus gives attachment to your 9th, that is glossopharyngeal, 10th vagus nerve and accessory. This is the cranial part of the accessory nerve. So these are the rootlets, gives attachment. Dorsal part, in the dorsal part, this is our posteromedian sulcus. On the either side of the posteromedian sulcus, this is an elevation. This elevation is called, medial one is called fasciculus gracilis. Lateral one is called fasciculus cuneatus. This fasciculus gracilis ends as a tubercle, which is called gracile tubercle. Fasciculus cuneatus ends as a tubercle, which is called cuneate tubercle. Because these elevations are produced, or tubercles are produced due to your nucleus. All the sensory fibers or ascending fibers are ends here, and from here this nucleus second order neuron arises. Then this is our closed part, upper open part. In the open part, what will happen? This picture is here. So this is at the midline, there is an sulcus. It is known as a medial sulcus. On either, and this upper part of the medulla oblongata or open part of the medulla oblongata, dorsal aspect form the floor of the fourth ventricle. So this at the midline, there is a medial sulcus. On the either side of the medial sulcus, we can see elevations, elongated elevation or vertical elevation, which is called median eminence. Medial eminence. This medial eminence limited laterally by an depression, which is called sulcus limitan. Now at the lower part of the medial eminence, the sulcus limitan runs downwards to meet the medial sulcus, which divides the median eminence into two triangle, upper hypoglossal, lower vagal triangle. Beneath this triangle, we are having the hypoglossal nucleus. Beneath this, we are having the vagal nucleus. Now cross section, we can observe the medulla oblongata to see the internal fissure by doing a cross section at different level, because at different level we are having different structures. At the lower part, this is the lower closed part. This is closed part but at the upper level. So at the level of the gracile and cuneate tubercle level, and this is at the level of the pyramidal decussation, and this is at the level of the olive, that is in the open part. So here this central gray matter, this is at the level of the pyramidal decussation. So this central gray matter, central canal is there. In the ventral dorsally they get elongated strip-like elongations. This is called gracile nucleus, and this is your cuneate nucleus. And this your dorsal horn, it is this dorsal horn which is in the present in the spinal cord, also in the your lower part of the medulla also. This dorsal horn become more elongated to form the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Then come to the white matter. This white matter, posterior to the gracile tubercle, this is the fasciculus gracilis. Posterior to the cuneate tubercle, this is fasciculus cuneatus. Dorsal to the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve, this white matter is called spinal tract of trigeminal nerve. Then in the ventral aspect, we are having a longitudinal elevation, that is your pyramid. Now this pyramid, because our section is at the level of the pyramidal decussation, so as the fibers are from the right side, it goes to the left, from the left it goes to the right, these will be ultimately form lateral corticospinal tract. Fibers will cross, then it will go to the lateral fasciculus, lateral side of the central horn. So this is forming the lateral corticospinal tract. Due to this pyramidal crossing of the fibers, this ventral horn get detached from the central gray matter, and this detached part is called spinal nucleus of accessory nerve. Now again another tract, your ventrally, this is our anterior or ventral spinocerebellar tract. Dorsally, this is posterior or dorsal spinocerebellar tract. So this is at the level of the pyramidal decussation. So at the level of the sensory decussation, that means at the level of the cuneate nucleus, what will happen? This central gray matter present very nicely. So then your gracile tubercle and cuneate tubercle get detached. Earlier it is elongated, but it is having connection. Now it is completely detached to form the cuneate gracile tubercle or gracile nucleus, cuneate nucleus. Then here sometimes accessory cuneate nucleus may be present, which is get detached from the cuneate nucleus itself. Then this is our spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. It is also now get detached. Earlier at the lower part it is having the connection, but now it is get detached from the central gray matter. Now what will happen as they get detached? Ultimately it is completely separate, and this is our fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus, then this is dorsal spinocerebellar tract, this is ventral spinocerebellar tract, and this is our inferior olivary nucleus, what I have said at the level of the upper level, that is the closed part. There is an elevation, olive, lateral to the or dorsal to the pyramid. This olive is due to the inferior olivary nucleus. So this is one of the important structures what I have not said. Now these fibers from the gracile tubercle, cuneate tubercle, they get cross, and this is known as a medial lemniscus, and this is known as an internal arcuate fiber, and this is called decussation, sensory decussation. At the central gray matter, these are ultimately nucleuses which are present at the floor, or you can say at the ventral aspect of the central gray matter. Okay.
Thank you, sir.